Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football late Saturday night, and some massive news for the Miami Hurricane fans as they land the commitment from one of the more exciting running backs in the 2025 cycle, Girard Pringle Jr., four-star from the state of Florida. And when you start to talk about what Girard Pringle Jr. brings to this Miami Hurricanes offense, the first word you got to use is speed. This is a guy that runs a 10.5 in the 100-meter dash, similar track and field numbers to Chris Johnson from a couple cycles ago. And it's really nice to see this Miami Hurricanes program value speed on the recruiting trail. You look at what Shannon Dawson wants to do on the offensive side of the football. He wants to get his playmakers the football in space. And if you have playmakers that are faster than the guys that are trying to work against them, that's a really good recipe for the Shannon Dawson offense. Girard Pringle Jr., very exciting prospect. Want to dive into the film, dig into what he brings to this Hurricanes offense. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys. A massive shout out to the Hurricane fans. This is a program we talk a lot about on the recruiting trail. Cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll be sure to keep you guys as updated as possible with what the Miami Hurricanes are doing on the recruiting trail. And without further ado, let's get into Girard Pringle Jr. And I want to start with, okay, we talked about the track time. He is one of the fastest players in this 2025 class, regardless of position. But Girard Pringle Jr. is a little bit different in terms of he's not just a track guy that's on a football field. He's a football player with track and field speed, right? He knows how to use that speed. He knows how to vary his speed. And when you take bad angles on Girard Pringle Jr., he is going to take it to the house. And what we're going to see on the film, I mean, the junior year, that over 1,600 rushing yards, 24 touchdowns, averages almost 8 yards per carry. But you're going to see a little bit more than just the straight line speed. This is a guy that wants to get downhill very fast. He's got great shake at the second level. But most importantly, probably the biggest question mark you would have with Girard Pringle Jr. is, all right, 5'10", 182 pounds. How does he deal with absorbing contact? He runs hard. Like, you can tell he's no Mark Fletcher. That's not his running style. But he's a guy that can absorb contact. He's not going to go down with arm tackles. And that was probably outside of the speed, which was very impressive on the film. The most impressive aspect of him is that he runs physical for being a lighter and smaller running back. Want to dive into the film, talk about what he brings to the table. And I mean, the first thing that stands out is, again, a little bit of a smaller running back. He wants to get downhill. He does not do much dancing east and west. He wants to get north and south and really show off that straight line speed, right? You fire up the film here, downhill in a quick spot. And again, if you're a safety and you take a bad angle on Girard Pringle Jr., I mean, good luck, because you're not going to catch him. And again, what you see here, the second rep, is he's not just a straight line guy, right? He wants to get downhill. He wants to use that vertical speed. But when he gets to the second level, he's got some nice shake, right? He sets up safety, sets up linebackers extremely well. A lot of times when you see those track athletes on the football field, they don't have as much shake. They don't know how to vary their speed. They might be straight line fast, but they don't know how to create separation and create missed tackles. Girard Pringle Jr. varies his speed. He's got really good short area quickness to go with that long speed. And I think that's one of the more impressive aspects of his game. Really good vision, knows how to recognize space. And again, he's a guy that's not going to go down with arm tackles, right? Deals with contact really well for being only 180-pound running back. And again, I love how he gets downhill. Loves how he makes people miss, again, working through contact. Good short area quickness. He wants to lower the shoulder. This is a guy that, again, not necessarily the heaviest number on the scale, but runs with really nice physicality, getting downhill, working through blocks. And again, has that ability to just make people miss with ease. And again, if you're taking bad angles, he's going to make you hurt. Really good out of the backfield. He doesn't get much opportunity, but you can kind of tell how comfortable he is as a pass-catching running back. And when you have that kind of speed, you're going to get set up on some linebackers and man coverage. My question for the Hurricanes can be, hey, how can you get Girard Pringle Jr. maybe utilized in that passing attack as well? Continue to work through the film. Just impressive rep after impressive rep. And he kind of takes together everything that you want in a running back. Guy that's, again, short area quickness, makes people miss, goes through arm tackles, really good long speed when he gets the open field. Really impressed with Girard Pringle Jr. I think the Hurricanes got a really good back in this class. And you start looking at this running back class. You got Mark Fletcher in the 2023 class, had a phenomenal freshman campaign. You also have Chris Johnson. You go to the 2024 class, you have a guy like Jordan Lyle, who was my favorite running back in the country in that 2024 cycle. Now you go to 2025 and land Girard Pringle Jr., one of the premier playmakers at that running back position. Would be interested to see if Miami maybe takes two backs, kind of like they did the last couple of years, where you look at that 2023 cycle, Mark Fletcher, you're bruising back, and then you get a guy like Chris Johnson who has kind of that difference-making level of speed. Interested to see if they pursue another running back in this class. Now, you look at the Hurricanes and where they're sitting, only 5 commitments in the boat, right? Top 20 in the country. This is a very similar spot to where we were last year going into the summer. And we know, what did they say for the Miami Hurricanes on the recruiting trail? It's a marathon, not a sprint. I expect the Hurricanes to have a very successful summer months, but where did Mario Cristobal start really making some money for this recruiting class last cycle? In the months of November and December, Mario Cristobal noted for being a very good closer. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, I'm not panicking about only having 5 commitments this early on, because we trust Mario Cristobal can close. Now, for the Miami Hurricane fans, one other name that I would just keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks is Chris Ewald, one of the better cornerbacks in this 2025 class. You all know I'm a Michigan fan, was formerly committed to Michigan. Really like Chris Ewald's game. And he's not necessarily the prototypical physical traits guy, right? 6 foot, 160 pounds, a solid frame, undersized. My favorite aspect of Chris Ewald was diving into the film a couple of days ago. He is just a technician at the position. And I think that's what excites me the most for Chris Ewald. He understands the cornerback spot, really, really good mirroring wide receivers, and he's scrappy. He's competitive, and that's another trait that you want in your cornerbacks. It sounds like the Hurricanes are kind of getting that inside track on Chris Ewald. Might see a commitment over the next couple of weeks, but Matt Merritt off to a great start, building this running back room out. Girard Pringle Jr. going to be a difference maker for this Hurricanes offense. Late Saturday night, wanted to hop on and give you guys some of my takes on Girard Pringle Jr. Appreciate y'all rocking with the boys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.